This is my first woodcut project. It's a takeoff of an Albrecht Dürer engraving titled, Night, Death and the Devil. I made some minor changes to the drawing, like replacing Dürer's dog with my dog, but overall the drawing, or composition, is Dürer's. The style of line work, however, is mine. My goal here was to see if I could do justice, or even come close, to the master of woodcut, Albrecht Dürer, with my version of a woodcut. I started by inking the drawing onto a piece of 18-inch by 24-inch piece of China plywood. Micron pens and Sharpies were used for the drawing. By the way, this is not meant to be a tutorial. As I said before, this is my first woodcut and there is still a lot I don't know about the process. Now that the drawing is on the plywood, I airbrush on a translucent coat of red ink. The red ink doesn't obscure the drawing, and the red color helps me when doing the cutting to see what has been cut away. It's probably not necessary to use an airbrush, but I was worried that by using a paintbrush the ink would soak into the wood and cause a problem. I used the Kamasuki 1mm V&U gouges for almost all of the cutting. For those of you who are unfamiliar with printmaking processes, I should point out that woodcut is a relief process. That means the areas that should not print have to be cut away. When the finished woodcut plate is inked with a brayer, roller, for printing, only the remaining uncut parts get coated with ink and, therefore, print. Well, I wasn't even finished with drawing the design onto the wood before I realized that I was taking on a massive project. The drawing alone took well over 3 weeks. That wouldn't be a bad thing if it was all my original work. But it's more or less a copy of another artist's work. This was supposed to be a test for me, not a life's work. However, it's not illegal. The work is well out of copyright. But it's still not cool. I reason that there are artists in the fine art world that have been acclaimed for doing this kind of thing. Take Kehinde Wiley. So with it I pressed on. I said earlier that this was my first woodcut. That's not entirely accurate. It's the first one that I started, but not the first one that I finished. While I was working on this Durer copy I completed another woodcut. It was a 9-inch by 12-inch woodcut of Martha Mitchell, done on China plywood. I think my future woodcuts will be in this 9 by 12-inch range. It will allow me room to experiment without the fear of failing and wasting a lot of time. One thing I did differently with Martha was the way I put the drawing on the wood. I coated the whole board with black India ink, and then I transfer my sketch onto the black with white carbon paper. The sketch wasn't a finished drawing. It was more like a general road map. I did the cutting more or less like I would do a scratchboard drawing. In other words, I used the knives to do the finished drawing. This helped keep the cut lines looking more natural and spontaneous. I kept working away until the woodcut plate was completely carved. It was probably the most time I have spent on a single piece in my life, and it's still not over. I still have to print it. I could have printed it myself at the community college where I take printmaking classes. But I decided with all the time I had invested in the carving, I wasn't going to take the chance of me destroying everything in the printing stage, so I decided to hire a professional print shop to do the printing. That print shop was Pele Prints in St. Louis, Missouri. Amanda Verbeck is the senior master printer, publisher, and founder at Pele Prints. She and Roxanne Phillips did the printing. Printing is an art in itself. I won't embarrass myself by trying to explain the printing process, but suffice it to say that good printing requires a lot of things to go right. The prints were done with an oil-based ink on Japanese paper. I ended up with an edition of 15 prints for the first state. I took the plate back and did some more carving to help with the overall contrast, and then took it back for another edition of 13 for the second state. Speaking for myself, as a rookie printer, one of the challenges of a printer is keeping the paper clean and wrinkle-free. Amanda is a pro and knows how to handle the paper. Watch this. Amanda pulls the paper off the print and it basically floats in the air. There is no chance of a dimple, wrinkle, or smudge.
Looks good.
I entered one of the prints in a print show in St. Charles, Missouri, titled Dirty Fingers. My print is titled Mick Photobombs a Durer Engraving. Mick is my dog. I also had a linocut print of Mick accepted. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and click the like button below. See you in the next video.